Let's be honest, when you hear the name Cristiano Ronaldo, you think of spectacular goals, shiny trophies, and just immense fame. But that's really just scratching the surface. He isn't just one of the greatest to ever play the game. He is a global phenomenon, a one-man commercial empire built on a foundation of almost superhuman discipline. So let's break down how he actually built it.
And when I say empire, I am not kidding. Just look at this number, 850 million euros. That's the projected value of the CR7 brand for 2025. This thing has grown over 300% since just 2020. I mean, that's just staggering. This kind of financial power has almost nothing to do with what he does on a football pitch anymore.
So, how on earth does that happen? That's the real question we're tackling here. How does a kid from a small, pretty poor island in Portugal manage to build one of the most powerful personal brands on the entire planet? Well, the answer isn't simple. It's a story that was forged in hardship and really, truly fueled by tragedy.
To really understand the machine, we have to go right back to the beginning. And the foundation of this empire, it wasn't built some fancy boardroom or by a slick marketing agency. No, it was forged in the crucible of a very, very difficult childhood.
This slide really just paints the picture, doesn't it? The sheer ordinariness of where he came from. He was born in Funchal, Madeira, the youngest of 4 kids. His mom was a cook, his dad a gardener. They lived in a tiny home with very little money. For a young Cristiano, football wasn't just a passion, it was literally the only ticket out.
And I'm using that word crucible for a reason. A crucible is this place of intense heat and pressure, right? Where different elements get melted down and interact to create something totally new. His childhood was exactly that. The poverty, that deep hunger to escape, it all mixed together to create the relentless drive that we see today. Can you imagine? At just 12 years old, he made this unbelievable sacrifice. He left his family, left his home island to go to Sporting's famous football academy in Lisbon. And this quote, it just shows you the incredible cost of that decision. He said it himself later, "Every night I cried. I missed my family so much, but I knew I had to fight." And the fight didn't stop when he got there. He was made fun of by the other kids for his thick accent and for being so skinny. But here's the thing about Ronaldo. Instead of breaking him, all that adversity just became fuel for the fire. It made him obsessed. While the other boys were sleeping, he was sneaking into the gym, determined to become the strongest, the fastest, the best.
So if his childhood was the crucible that forged his discipline, what happened next was the catalyst. It was the event that took that discipline and turned it into an unstoppable weapon.
Just look at this timeline for a second. In 2005, Ronaldo is just 20 years old, basically still a kid, and his father dies from an alcohol-related illness. He was completely devastated. Then just 3 years later, he wins his very first Ballon d'Or, the award for the best player on the planet. The connection between those two events, well, that's everything.
So here's the crucial point. This terrible loss just completely rewired him. His ambition on the field became this solemn promise. He dedicated his entire career to taking care of his mother, his whole family. And after seeing what alcohol did to his dad, he made a vow to never drink, which cemented that legendary, almost obsessive focus on his physical condition.
And the results of that laser focus? Well, they were immediate, and they were absolutely staggering. On the pitch, this personal tragedy transformed him into a pure, relentless goal machine, first at Manchester United, and then, of course, at Real Madrid.
140. That's his record-breaking number of goals in the UEFA Champions League, the absolute biggest stage in club football. Now, that's not just a record, it's a statement. It established him as the ultimate big-game player, the guy who always delivers when the pressure is at its absolute highest.
You know, you can't really talk about Ronaldo without talking about his great rival, Lionel Messi. And this comparison really shows you his specific kind of genius. Messi, he has more Ballon d'Ors. He's clearly the better playmaker. I mean, just look at those assist numbers. But Ronaldo is different. He's the optimized finisher, the closer. His penalty conversion rate is way higher, which just proves his ice-cold reliability in those make-or-break moments.
And that focus on one thing, scoring goals, it produced an absolutely incredible legacy. He became Real Madrid's all-time leading scorer. He won 5 of those Ballon d'Or awards, and maybe the most meaningful one for him, he captained Portugal to their first-ever major trophy at Euro 2016. He literally willed himself into the conversation for the greatest goal scorer to ever live.
But the story doesn't end there on the pitch. Not even close. In this final phase of his career, Ronaldo pulled off his most brilliant move yet, pivoting from athlete to CEO.
You can really see his whole career as this deliberate 3-step plan. Step 1, the athlete. For 2 decades, he just dominates European football. Step 2, the influencer. He systematically builds his online presence to become the most followed human being on the planet. And then, Step 3, the CEO. He leverages that insane fame into a financial empire.
The scale of his influence is, well, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. Across all social media, he has a combined following of over 1 billion people. That makes him, by a huge margin, the most followed person on Earth. This isn't just a fan base, you guys. It's a global distribution network that he controls completely.
And you better believe that network pays. Even now, pushing 40 and playing in Saudi Arabia, his earning power is astronomical. His salary is something like 200 million euros a year, and then on top of that, he brings in another 150 million from endorsements with brands like Nike. It's wild.
And that's the real key here. His move to Al-Nassr wasn't a retirement tour. A lot of people saw it that way, but it was a cold, calculated business decision. It was the final evolution from Cristiano Ronaldo the footballer to CR7, the CEO of a global media and holding company designed to optimize his brand for maximum financial return.
So his story, from the streets of Madeira to the boardroom of a brand that's worth almost €1 billion, it leaves us with this one really fundamental question. We see amazing talent everywhere, in every field, but his journey suggests something else, something maybe more powerful. It makes you wonder, is discipline, the kind that's forged in hardship and fueled by purpose, actually a greater force than talent itself?